Hey, this is Jesse Grover, your local real estate agent here in Vancouver, Washington, giving you all the tips and tricks on the best neighborhoods and the best areas to look when you're buying a house in Clark County. Now, we're going to talk about the three must-see neighborhoods on the west side of Vancouver. So let's jump into my screen and take a look at it. So as you can see here, we are looking at Clark County and Vancouver primarily. So let's zoom in and take a look. I would say that the west side kind of starts. It's kind of in the middle here, but I'd really say anything west of this, all this section here is definitely the west side of Vancouver. The first one that I would say that you definitely need to take a look at is the Vancouver Heights area. That is down in here. So Vancouver Heights. This area down here south of Mill Plain, west of 205, and kind of right at this Brant and where this Evergreen shows. This area down in here is super cool. Let's move in and kind of take a look some more. It is an older area with very mixed use houses and some space along MacArthur here. There's kind of some mixed use places throughout either side of the road. I don't know if there's really some grocery stores, but there's definitely some little restaurants and some little stores and corner stores and things like that. There's also a good amount of restaurants that are populating right in here, and this whole section is definitely going to be a big future development section that the city keeps talking about. But all these kind of areas down in here are really cool to look at. There's just a lot of different styles of home, especially the closer you get to Lewis and Clark, Highway 14 down here and along Ellsworth. There's some houses built in like the 70s and some in the 60s and 80s that are just really cool, and some big houses. There's also some mixed use up in here. I say mixed use because there's and that are very much some older, smaller lots and kind of like old military housing in a way, but there's some really interesting houses and neighborhoods definitely to take a look at in there, and it's really fun to go down and look at. One of the other areas that you're gonna have to consider when buying in Vancouver, and you want to stay on the west side, especially if commuting to Portland or anywhere is popular, because you will want to stay along the I-5 corridor, is the Felida and Lakeshore areas. Now, these two areas are sometimes interchangeable, sometimes similar, but Felida especially, down in here, you can see these kind of yellow populated areas. It is definitely growing its own little identity, and it's becoming its own. Felida is definitely kind of becoming its own little town inside Vancouver proper. It's becoming really sought after. There's some nice restaurants in the downtown Felida area. That whole section is kind of growing, and there's some new construction moving in, and the older houses that are in those areas are just really cool and really good craftsmanship that is just really nice to see. But it along 99th and 119th here, you can definitely access I-5 very easily. And then you also get all the shopping and big commercial spaces you need right around here. And you're going to find everything you need along Hazeldale Avenue. But there, you can see the lake is super close, all right here. There's some houses down in this area that you get lakefront, but it's not designed as much as lake access as you would think. So that is definitely something to take into consideration. But there are some really nice parks up in here, in this area in Salmon Creek that Felida has easy access to, and there's definitely some hiking trails along. I believe it's right in here along this creek and river, right here. But these houses, you're definitely gonna have some good value, and they're really, really cool to see and look at. The other area that you definitely need to pay attention to is going to be in the kind of downtown area, but specifically in the Carter Park and some in this Lincoln kind of north downtown area. But this Carter Park section, I would say right in from here, kind of fourth plane in this block here and down in here, there's going to be some really cool turn of the century homes that amazing craftsmanship, amazing homes. There's still some that are fairly untouched since they were built, and are kind of turning themselves over to new ownership and stuff, that you can get a house and renovate and do what you want with it. But then there's also some other ones that have been renovated and have been updated and expanded upon, and there are some amazing homes built in the 1900s, the 10s, the 20s, down in those areas. If we zoom in a little bit, also there's some really cool parks in this downtown. I'm not really seeing any on the map right now. Exactly where they are, but there's some really cool, I believe this is the school down here, and that's a park, and there's some up in off Grant and something else right around 33rd that the kids just love to go to. And then also you're so close to downtown and uptown right in here where you'll get to enjoy all these restaurants and all this stuff downtown. So I would definitely take a look at that if that is more the walkability and the downtown living that you want, and if that's what you're looking for, definitely go with downtown. If you want a little more suburb life, a little more up and coming area, kind of built in the 80s, 90s, or new construction, definitely Felida Lakeshore. And then if you are searching for a little more lots, a little more overgrown, green space, and a little more driving kind of out of town, or if you need to get access 205 a little easier, I would definitely consider the Vancouver Heights area, because that is also a really cool area to take a look at. So if I was looking on the west side, those are definitely the three areas I would take a look. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I love showing houses downtown in Felida or in Vancouver Heights. I work all over Clark County, so please reach out with any questions, and I would love to help you out. And I'll see you on the next one.